that you've ever seen in your life. You've never seen Clark's parents look so normal.
Right. Yeah,
You
absolutely.
know, I was waiting for his dad to pull out a banjo. You know, I'm like, I'm like, well, who the hell are these people? You know,
Yeah.
so it's not a negative. Uh,
See, I'm
it's
more
just
referring to what they did with the Kryptonian parents about him having the harem and all that. That was my big negative. Like, I was literally waiting until the end. Like, man, they're gonna turn that back, right? That was all made up, right?
okay, Remy. You keep twisting the knife in me, dude. You're making me remember other things I didn't like about this movie. I don't want to outpace the positives. The positives are supposed to be way higher than the
Well, that's what
negatives.
I'm saying. Like, it's like an 85% for me. You know, it's like
Yeah,
it's up there. I
you're
love
right.
the movie. This is one of my
You're
favorite
right.
Superman. It's the second favorite movie of this year. Only
Yeah,
the first one being Sinner. Not Sinners. Yeah, I think it's Sinners that was number one, and then this. So
really. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah,
it's up there. It's one of my favorite movies this
yeah.
year. It's
Big
just it's
fan of
very
Sinners.
very
Big.
nitpicky stuff that I
Yeah,
don't like.
I get it, and you're right. So let's talk about Clark's birth parents. Well, Kal-El, I can't say Clark, but Kal-El's birth parents. We went from West Virginia to K-pop parents, or what's the top pop star on right now? Blonde Kansas City Chiefs dating one of them. What's wrong with me? Taylor
Uh,
Swift.
oh, Taylor Swift.
So
Yep.
thank you. So we look at the mom. The mom, I think I'm looking at Taylor Swift as his mother. The guy, and even though they are speaking their native Kryptonian language, it sounds Spanish.
Right.
Okay, so I'm looking at the father. The father has a beard. Is kind of thin looking. I'm sorry, doesn't look like a physicist or a nuclear a physicist or anything like that to me. I'm sitting here looking at, dude, they must have gave birth to you really young. You know, I'm like, what's up with the? So that's a failure to me. The Kents are a failure to me, but acceptable because I thought they were hilarious. I mean, or at least the
Yeah.
mom was. The mom was really hilarious. That was a failure to me. But they were acceptable. The Kents were. I'm sorry. The Clark's Kal-El's parents
Kyle's
were.
family. Yeah.
Yeah, Kal-El's was forgettable to me. They were
Very much.
forgettable. Yeah, I didn't need to hold them in my brain at all. I didn't think that there was any association whatsoever. I also failed to believe that Earth has translated, we Earthlings has translated all of the missing parts of that message, that full message that they had ready for Kal-El. I can't believe that end of it. I want to think, because of the movie, that it was a made up scenario that Clark, like an idiot or Superman, whichever persona you want to go with, believed it. He believed that message, and it was translated from Lex Luthor's people.
Right.
You know, a freaking alien language, not a international,
But see that's
language.
what I was hoping by the end of the movie that they were just going to be like, oh no, and we found out Lex Luthor had messed with it,
Agreed.
and it never happened. I
It
was
never
just
happened. It never happened. They focused on his, his nefarious acts and plans and all that kind of stuff. And I was hoping, just like in the classic Twilight Zone episode, To Serve Man, that somebody's going to run around the corner with the book in their hand and go, "Hey, hey, hey, we were wrong. It's a
right.
cookbook," or something
Yeah,
like
I was
that.
waiting that whole time for that. It never happened, man.
Yeah, yeah, that was very upsetting to me. So yes, the flaws are there.
Hmm.
Okay, but like you, I'm going to stick with your 85%. I think you're right. I think it's 85% a perfect movie. If we
Right.
we did never said perfect, but I know where you were going with that. There is 15% of flaws in there, and you just, is there more? I was about to say, you just mentioned, is there more?
No, to me, like anything else, I loved. It reminded me like why I love DC.
Yeah, Well, DC doesn't have a good track record with their movies, with their live action movies. Incredible, untouchable talent with their animation department.
Right.
Okay, I think DC animation is off the hook. I think they're fantastic in that. They just kind of just don't get a tight enough package with their movies. You
But
know,
I'll say this: I did really like Justice League. Justice League was one of my favorite movies the
did
year it
you
came
really?
out. I absolutely did. I was a huge supporter of Justice League, and I didn't like the rest of the Zack Snyder movies, but Justice League, I was into
Yeah.
it.
Okay. So now I know you're a knucklehead too. Okay. So I did not dislike Justice League. I wanted better.
Oh,
Okay.
I agree. I do. I think it could have been better, but I put it up
Yes.
there with the original Avengers movie. Whereas the Avengers movie is not a perfect movie. It has a lot of flaws. And I think if Justice League had come out first before the Avengers movies, people would feel the same way about it. It just there's been so many better Marvel movies since Avengers that it was hard
Yeah.
to go back to the way Justice League was.
I am so happy I can continuously disagree with things that you say. And that just makes me so happy how I know that not everyone out there is agreeing with me, that there at least going to be one strong person in the room that's going to challenge the things that I like and vice versa. You're a knucklehead, Remy.
Well, see, I'm not one of those people who's a sheep. I have my own opinion. I feel like talking with a lot of comic book movie people about some of this stuff,
Yeah,
and they say the same
yeah,
opinion. And I know, like on off camera, they don't feel the same way.
yeah. Well, you're right. So let me ask you a question. You're done with
Yeah,
the
that was all.
negatives.
That's all I had for negative. So ask away.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so did you did you expect a kaiju?
I mean, I saw the trailer, so I mean, kind of expected it, but I didn't
In the
expect
yes.
I didn't expect it in the way it happened. And he had like a little Stitch guy go in, and he went from Stitch to Power Rangers. Like, and like,
Let me tell you though, that was I think better CGI as a super big Godzilla character than any other kaiju. Definitely wasn't a Ultraman kaiju that you saw. And in the trailers, I only remember seeing probably the head of this kaiju, which I thought was a flying dragon at first that was blowing flame. And that's all. I didn't know this was because if you were a fan of the 1966 Superman series, Superman in one episode of that series did actually fight a flying dragon, literally in the cartoon. And I thought that's where they were going with this. I had no idea that literally it was Stitch grown up.
right. I loved it, man. I love seeing Superman fight that guy. It was just like it just added another thing for him to fight. You know, it wasn't just him versus Luthor. He had a bunch of
Yeah,
stuff he had to overcome throughout the movie. And you know,
yeah,
I've listened to some other reviews of this, and they said that was kind of a negative for them that there was too much going on. But to me, it was a positive. You know, it added so much more depth to Superman. You know, seeing him go. Oh, instead of going right like Man of Steel did, let's go fight the giant monster. I'm going to save the people around here first before we get to the giant threat. I mean, that was just like, bam, blew my mind. It was great to see that on the big screen.
there was. You're absolutely. You hit it. You knocked it out of the park on that one, Remy. There was also a lot of humanity in this movie in his savings. Let's say one thing that I did notice, which I'm kind of happy for, but some people may be upset with. Um, Everybody has this impression that Superman is 100% indestructible. Now, minus kryptonite. If there was no kryptonite involved, everybody thought that nothing could hurt Superman. 100%
Right.
indestructible. Let me tell you, In the 1930s and 40s with the Superman Fleischer cartoons, even then Superman wasn't as strong as he has become at this time.
Absolutely.
Yes,
And
he's
I grew up on those cartoons.
Yes, he's huffing and puffing and struggling. In fact, in the trailers and this opening scene, Superman is got his ass kicked and he's knocked into the Arctic Circle and he's bleeding. It's like, oh my God, I thought we could only see Superman blood when somebody stabs him with a blade of kryptonite.
Right.
Much like Lex Luthor in Superman Returns. I don't know if there's any disappointment with people out there seeing a Superman that wasn't indestructible.